And of course, the other thing was the great thing that separated them from a little bit, that gave them an extra cachet, that gave them a resonance, an identification. Johnny Most
Right.
was extremely important and a central part of the whole thing. His rather unique style, not to mention his rather unique voice, which would never get hired today, as you well know. But Johnny Most was a very important part of spreading the gospel and what it meant what the Celtics represented. And I would dare say we've had some wonderful announcers, of course, with Bob Wilson and of course in all the baseball, man, Ken Coleman and all that, and right down to our great guy Joe Castig today. And we've had all kind of Gil Santos, blah blah blah. But in the history of Boston sports broadcasting, there's never been anybody as singular and as special as Johnny
because
was.
Johnny was a personality.
Oh my God.
And this is what has happened, in my opinion, and this is why I don't think. And again, the guys are great. I mean, Tirico's a gentleman and a wonderful guy. Al Michaels is phenomenal, but when you're doing a national game, it's much different. I understand that, but on. Johnny wasn't accurate, but people don't care.
Well, in the beginning, here's my theory. This is Bob Ryan's theory. It's not gospel, although I like to think so, but I'll be honest, it's just my theory. And when I first started listening to Johnny Most, I came here not knowing nothing about him, out of New Jersey in 1964. Here it was. He called a straight game very well, except that he embellished it with his partisanship. But I mean, the actual what was happening, the passes, the kind of shot that was taken, the trend. He was very accurate, but he embellished it in a way that I had never liked this, and it was all good guys, and it was all. But it was occasionally
good versus evil, Bob. Good versus evil.
Occasionally, it would be some credit. Anyway, but it changed when Cowan showed up. That team, that's when it became good guys, bad guys more than ever. If you listen to a standard generic broadcast of Johnny Most, say 1957, 59, 60, 62, 3, as opposed to a generic Johnny Most broadcast, 72, 74, 70, right up through the Bird and Parrish and McHale era, there's a difference. And it was total. The older he got and the more he got entrenched with it, it was all good guys and bad guys, and white hats and black hats, and I don't think in the 55 he would have said that anybody was crawling out of the sword like Kurt Rambis, but or the McFilthy and McNasty, the pairings.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, by the way, I want a flash across my head while this was going on at time and. A very similar thing was happening in LA with regard to an announcer becoming completely synonymous with the franchise. A totally different kind of announcer, Chick Hearn. But people grew up, he introduced pro basketball to Southern California in 1960 when they moved from Minneapolis. And he became, and he had held the job for over 30 years. Very different kind of broadcaster. But the point is that he was identified completely, team as Johnny Most was here. And they were friendly, but you couldn't have been more separate in, Chick Hearn style of broadcasting and Johnny Most style of broadcasting. But they both were synonymous with their team.
I'm putting you on the spot, and I need to Google it. What was the term that Chick came up with?
Well, airball, for one. He invented the phrase airball.
Airball.
And dribble drive, but airball, I think it's
airball.
That's universal, known in basketball.
Oh my God! Yeah, absolutely.
It's
NBA History Channel is brought to you by Prize Picks and the Game Time app.